You've probably heard of a marketing funnel: awareness, interest, consideration, decision. You try to push people as fast as possible through it. And the majority of founders that are doing content are trying to follow that exact linear journey structure. But here's the problem with that. No one likes to be funneled, especially not in 2026. No one wants to be pushed and squeezed into a process. You wouldn't want that to happen to your nana. So why would you funnel someone you want as a long-term client? And there's actual data behind this from Google themselves. Back in the day, 2 to 4 touch points was enough to get a sale because people didn't literally have unlimited options. But today people need 8 to 12. But it's worse than that. We're living in a trust recession. I mean, you probably feel it. People just recognize the patterns. They're more skeptical, they're more guarded, hard to convert. And for a good reason, let's be honest. So chasing views in 2026 is not only exhausting, it's actually a massive disadvantage. And the smartest founders that I've worked with are doing something different. They're not building funnels, they're building solar systems. Let me explain. So instead of pushing people through a linear path, you build a media solar system where everything orbits around you and it happens naturally. And building a profitable brand appreciates. It's not a video that's gonna get lost in 24 hours. This is what I call a category of one position, because you're gonna become the only option in your space. You basically trump all the noise by becoming unreplicable. When we simplify this process, 3 systems appear. I call it the category 1 system, and this is what founders like Shelby Sapp are using. So let's break it down. So the easiest way for us to do this is to have clarity, ownership, and systems. Number 1, clarity. So clarity is all about positioning, identity, and messaging. Most founders think that positioning is a niche, but here's what they miss. Your positioning isn't where you fit in the market. It's how you make everyone else irrelevant. Here's what that means in very simple terms. This famous artwork shows the same painting from different angles, and it tells a completely different story. Same thing with how you're positioned in the market is how you end up being perceived. So how do we get clear on your positioning? Well, there's 4 elements that can help you do that: signal, messaging, IP stack, and your enemy. So starting with signal, this is your unique point of view, your fingerprint on this world, your lived story and your experience, your identity, who you are, your morals, your beliefs, and what you believe that the market doesn't. And when people say you should be authentic in your content, this is usually kind of what they mean, which will immediately make you stand out. This is the thing that's gonna actually filter your clients and repel the wrong ones. So you have experience, you have a product, you have a service, you have a story, you have a unique point of view. The messaging element helps you package your ideas and signals, and how you articulate them will find you the right audience. The choice of words, the way you tell a narrative, the way you tell a story, the way you phrase things, the way you pair them with visuals, the way you express that identity, even things like subtle cues in your taste, your environment, and even status. This also targets and speaks to exactly who your fan or client will become. Element number 3 is where your craft, your teaching, your product or service comes in place. Your intellectual property. This is your proprietary methods, your frameworks, your terminology, your stamped and branded processes. This is not rented hacks or tactics or any of that. This is your owned systems, processes, and methods. This is what's going to make you unreplicable on the market. And last but not least, the enemy. Some founders do this unconsciously, and some founders are extremely scared to take this step. It's who or what you're fighting against. You're finding a common enemy between you and the person watching. An enemy could very well be a person, but for founders, that's mostly not the case. A fitness coach's enemy can be laziness, junk food, lose fat quickly schemes, or even something like a diet that they don't believe in. You have to create polarizations, a contrast, and something that people can stand with or against. So they either get it or they don't. These elements make you a one of one and put you in your own lane. And people won't compare you to others because you're one of a kind. You're just known for that category in your industry. Next, we have ownership. Since you earned that attention from the last step, it's only right that you own it and not rent it. What do I mean by that? So if you think a follow gives you access to an audience at all times, it doesn't. Once someone follows you, the algorithm still decides if they're gonna see you again or not. Your content is still competing with what the platform thinks they might like. And if the platform crashes or they change the rules or you get hacked or restricted, you lose your reach overnight. That's why relying on someone else's social platform is basically renting attention and not owning it. Owning your audience means having a direct line to them that no algorithm controls, and different ways to reach your people on your own terms and build more rapport with them. And there's a few ways to do this, and I'm sure you've heard of a few. Let's take a look at Shelby Sapp's world. Shelby not only has all of the 4 elements from the first step we discussed, but also hits you from all directions. First, her lead magnets. What's a lead magnet? A piece of valuable information you give in exchange for someone's contact information. It could be a workbook, a guide, a PDF, a tutorial, anything of that nature. A lead magnet is going to capture the contact info. It also indicates that the lead is showing interest, it qualifies automatically, and you educate at a bigger scale. A great way to own and nurture your audience is through a newsletter or a Substack. Now that Shelby has your email, she's going to nurture you with advice, personal stories, strategies, free frameworks, and it always includes a call to action to book a call with her team. Direct access to your audience's inbox, and there's no algorithm in between. She also does weekly webinars in the form of a masterclass where she educates for an hour and 2 hours, and she pushes people straight to book a call. And if she hasn't captured a lead through the lead magnet, she definitely captured it through the webinar magnet. She also has her own YouTube channel and has recently been appearing on many podcasts such as Jay Shetty. After Shelby attracts this audience, educates them, nurtures them, she converts them. And she also has a private paid circle from her coaching and referral programs and live events, pop-up meetups, and so many other ways that she attracts and owns that audience. There's something that's known as the 7-11-4 rule. The average consumer needs 7 hours of interaction across 11 touch points in 4 different platforms or locations. So to build enough trust for a purchase and a long-term loyal connection, we need to appear in front of this audience as much as possible in many different ways. And even if you distribute on many channels, there's one strategy that I use with my clients that accelerates this process dramatically. And how we do that is we go back to step 1 and we make sure that all of that content is extremely bingeable and addictive. Why? Because we want people to stay on the content, interact with it, and knock off blocks of time as fast as possible so that they feel like they trust you, know you, like you, and they become a warm lead before you ever interact with them. And lastly, to make all this work, we need audience growth systems. Systems make it run without you. This entire strategy only works with consistent long-term output, and the only way to do that is with systems. To establish a connection and familiarity with your audience, or honestly even anyone, you need to show up often enough for them to remember you, like you, and trust you, right? And that doesn't happen over a few days or weeks, but months and years. In order to receive feedback and data, you have to be producing long enough, and that can get super tedious, exhausting, and sometimes make you want to bang your head against the wall. So if you want to avoid headaches and wasting your time, systems for organic content are not necessary. They are essential. And they also allow you to spend more time growing the brand and the business than working on it and fixing it. Some founders I worked with have made it extra hard on themselves by producing without a structure. They post whenever they're inspired, or they heard about a new trend or a new hook and they're super inconsistent. This clogs the pipeline of content and output and connection with your audience. So we need systems for all of these touch points: attract, capture, nurture, qualify, close, and ascend, that will allow us consistent distribution. Things like creating a content engine that doesn't require much from you anymore. You set it up once and then you maintain it. Systems for your audience that welcomes them and gives them a positive experience from the go. Filtering systems, sales systems, monetization systems. If we want to build a tower, we can't start from the middle, right? We have to start from the foundation, and that is systems. That allows us to build this structure to fully scale beautifully into infinity. The key idea is when you put all these to work together, you're building something that's unreplicable. Positioning makes you the only choice. Audience ownership keeps people close to you. And content systems keep you visible, memorable, and not chronically stressed. If you want marketing that works on autopilot, if you want happy customers coming through the door, you can't just have one marketing funnel and apply pressure and squeeze people towards becoming a client. You just have to craft your own lane, become the only option in that market. Give them a positive experience, empower them, which will lead them to naturally make their own conclusion that you are the obvious choice to buy from. Feel free to take any of these systems and run with them, but if you're a founder that wants to build this whole infrastructure, the link below will get you on a free strategy call. We'll map out your positioning gaps and build you a 12-week roadmap. See you there.